Field of view, the amount of stuff we can see at any one time. But which has more, the Quest 1 or the Quest 2? Today, we're going to finally find out if the Quest 2 field of view is as bad as people think. Hello and welcome back to the VR Cauldron. If you're new here, we've been talking a lot about the Quest 2, so if you love some Quest and VR content and want to join a fantastic community, then subscribe to stick around. You're always free to leave at any time. So field of view, it's one of the things that can help make VR more immersive, and generally, the more the better. Humans have a horizontal field of view of around 210 degrees left to right. The closer that we can get to that, then the more immersive the virtual reality is. So far, manufacturers report a field of view of around 110 degrees, though the Valve Index is meant to be 130 and the Pimax 150. MRTV did some testing and he found that the numbers aren't always that accurate. And also, we have to take into account both the horizontal and the vertical. Many of the numbers given are actually diagonal.
What did he say, dear?
Diagonally.
I thought he did.
Oculus, on the other hand, don't report their FOV figures, and with the release of the Quest 2, many people were left scratching their heads as to whether it was larger or smaller than the original Quest. So I downloaded the testing program from Realo Virtual and jumped in to test them for myself. I tested them on 5 of the Quest 2 settings. That's the 3 main settings and the 2 in-between settings that I spoke about in a previous video. Links to that are below. I then did the same test on the Quest 1 with the 3 IPD settings as on the Quest 2, as well as the Quest 1's maximum setting of 71. So what happened? Well, in we go. So first up was the Quest 1. I'll show you how we get it measured and then I'll just tell you all the others so you don't get too bored. Basically, you stare at this screen and you gradually move the red lines out until you can't see them anymore. It's not exactly scientific, but it is pretty good. I was finding that sometimes one line would disappear before the other, so I used my left hand to ensure that the headset was perfectly central on my face. Also, the test will look lopsided to you because only one eye is getting recorded. Now, after you hear the results, you want to hear the disclaimer because I do believe there is quite an obvious problem that when solved will make the results a lot nicer. So stick around for that, and if you make it to the end then let me know, because there's a bit of discussion in this video and you know I love me some discussion. So the results for the first Quest were as follows. At an IPD of 59mm, which is the lowest IPD the Quest 1 reports, the FOV was 92 degrees. It was 102 degrees at 63mm and 104 degrees at 68. Those 3 IPDs were chosen because they're equal to the preset settings on the Quest 2, though the Quest 2's smallest setting is 58 and 59 was the smallest we could get from the Quest 1. Then the maximum field of view of 106 degrees was obtained at the Quest 1's maximum IPD setting of 71mm. Those were all horizontal side-to-side measurements. I measured the vertical FOV of the Quest 1 to be 120 degrees. Now for the Quest 2. At IPD 58, that's setting 1, the FOV was 84 degrees. That's 8 degrees lower than the Quest 1 at the same IPD. At setting 2, IPD 63mm, I measured 92 degrees. That's 10 degrees less from the 102 I got from the Quest 1. And at 68mm, that's setting 3 on the Quest 2, I got 86 degrees. That's 18 degrees less than the Quest 1 at the same setting. That was particularly disappointing, as usually the field of view would get wider as the IPD setting increases. You might have heard people say that they can see the sides of the LCD screen at this setting, and that is absolutely true. Personally, I don't mind seeing the sides of the screen, but the problem we have here is that we should actually be able to see further past the edges of the screen. I've made a simple illustration to try and show you what's actually happening. Because there is only one single LCD panel in the Quest 2, it has to stay still when the IPD setting is changed, unlike on the Quest 1 where the 2 panels can move left and right. Instead, the image in the panel is moved through software. Now, I don't really know how much of the screen is being used for each setting. I've just pulled these out my ass to give you an idea.
Jesus Christ.
So setting 1 is okay. There's a news screen at the sides, but it's okay because we can't see that far out. Then for setting 2, there might be a bit of a news screen in the middle that we can't see, but there might not. And the image is moved closer to the edges of the LCD panel, possibly all the way. And then we get to setting 3. The image is moved past the end of the panel so that we've actually lost some of it. You can see it on the picture, but in real life we wouldn't be able to see it. Now, since the image in VR moves as we look around, that's okay that some is cropped because we just have to turn our heads to see what we need. But the problem is that the crop happens within our peripheral vision, so we can see that it's happened, meaning that our field of view has been reduced. Ideally, the screens would have moved further outwards if there were two screens, so we couldn't see the crop, or the screen could have simply just been wider. So what about those in-between settings? Well, setting 1.5 was measured as 88 degrees, and setting 2.5 was measured at 90 degrees. The vertical FOV was measured at 108 degrees. That's 12 degrees less than the Quest 1's 120 degrees. By the way, it's worth noting that the field of view of setting 3 is still more than that of setting 1. So although it is prematurely chopped off for setting 3, it's still not the worst setting for field of view, for me at least. Sadly, it is all part of the cost saving that Facebook have employed to get the price down so low, while still including that beefy XR2 chipset. And in practice, most people won't even care when they're enjoying a game. It's just disappointing that once again, a second generation product has drawbacks over its predecessor. If you saw Facebook Connect, you might remember that little skit that they did about the Quest 2.
Mark wants to know if we can make the screen more crisp.
Yeah, we can do that. We could throw in a single high-res LCD panel.
Great.
Single panel? He didn't say single panel, he said crisp. Crisp! So about those numbers, why are they so much lower than those for the Quest 1? And how was I so way off in my prediction? Well, I think it'll be definitely increased. Anyway, remember that FOV can be different for different people, and these figures are for me. I got me a wide head, and something I noticed about the Quest 2 facial interface is that my glasses do not fit inside too well. That's because the facial interface is narrower. That means that my wide face is kept further away from the screen. And we all know that the further away from the screen you are, the lower the field of view. So I'm hoping that once I replace the facial interface with a wider and a thinner one, the FOV numbers for the Quest 2 are actually going to increase. But I'm also hoping at the same time that I won't be able to see the edges of the panel when I'm on setting 2. We shall see. Sadly, the fit packs are all currently sold out for me and third-party products haven't been released yet. As soon as they are, I'm going to retest the Quest 2 and I shall get back to you. So if you're not subbed, make sure you do if you want to catch that. I still love the Quest 2, it's not without its problems, but overall it's still a damn good piece of kit, especially considering the price. And in practice, I forget about the field of view when I'm playing and I can't really tell the difference anyway. But it just feels like being the tallest person in your house and then going outside only to find out that everyone else is a giant. Luckily, I don't go outside. So what do you think about this revelation? Leave your thoughts down below, you know I enjoyed the conversation. Ooh. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and remember, if you want to stick around for the VR talk, advice, or to help me help other people, then don't forget to subscribe. I've been Al, thanks for watching the VR Cauldron, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you next time. See ya!
Am I under your protection spell? Just don't hang up the phone. They wanna send me straight to hell.